Picture this: Habs faithful, a fan favorite who once embodied the grit and heart of the Montreal Canadiens, now stands at a crossroads, his future with the team hanging in the balance. Arber Xhekaj burst onto the NHL scene a few years ago as the kind of defenseman we adore: big, physical, fearless. A throwback to an era of hockey where intimidation was as valuable as skill. He protected our stars, battled in the corners, and made opponents think twice about crossing into our zone. The Bell Center loved him for it. But in May 2026, as we push to the second round of the playoffs, Xhekaj's role has shrunk, and the signs point to him being the next player to leave Montreal. Let's dive into why this could be the end of his chapter with the Habs, and what it means for our future. Let's start with the most glaring signal, one that cut deep for fans and Xhekaj alike. In Game 7 against the Tampa Bay Lightning, the win-or-go-home clash that sent us to the second round, Xhekaj was a healthy scratch. This wasn't a regular season rest day or a chance to test depth. This was the biggest game of the year, a do-or-die moment, and the coaching staff under Martin St. Louis chose to leave him in the stands. That decision isn't just a lineup tweak. It's a megaphone blasting to the entire NHL, where Xhekaj stands in the organization's hierarchy. Once a guaranteed presence, he's now on the outside looking in, and that speaks volumes about his future. The reason for this shift is painfully clear. Our blue line is bursting with talent, and the line for playing time is getting long. Noah Dobson, one of the league's elite right-handed defensemen, anchors our defense with a $9.5 million cap hit, logging massive minutes and driving play with 47 points this season. Lane Hutson is revolutionizing the left side, blending dynamic offense with puck-moving wizardry. Behind them, young names like David Reinbacher and prospect from the AHL's Laval Rocket are pushing for spots, hungry to prove themselves. In this crowded, skill-heavy defensive unit, Xhekaj's old-school physical style, while valuable in its own right, feels increasingly expendable. Let's break down Xhekaj's game. He's never been the defenseman to rack up points or quarterback a power play. His stat sheet won't show elite first passes or seamless neutral zone carries. Instead, his value lies in the intangibles: battling in the corners, protecting space in front of net, and making life miserable for opposing forwards with his 6 feet 4 inches frame and willingness to drop the gloves. At 25, those qualities still matter, especially in the grind of a long season or playoff series. But on a modern blue line like ours, built for speed, transitions, and puck possession, physical intimidation carries less weight than it once did. The game has evolved, and Xhekaj's fit in our system is shrinking. That said, don't sleep on his trade value. If the Canadiens make Xhekaj available, the line of suitors will stretch around the block. Big, physical defensemen at just 25 years old are a rare commodity in today's NHL. Teams struggling with toughness, needing a defensive enforcer, or wanting to send a message that they're not easy to play against will be dialing Kent Hughes' number. Xhekaj isn't just a bruiser. He's got playoff experience, having faced top offensive lines in high-pressure elimination games. That competitive maturity is a real asset for franchises looking to take the next step in their rebuilds or add grit to a contender's roster. For Xhekaj himself, a change of scenery could be the spark his career needs. In Montreal, with our roster stacked and ice time shrinking, he's stuck behind a wall of talent. In another city, with guaranteed minutes and trust from a coaching staff that values his style, he could rediscover form that made him a revelation a few years ago. A fresh start, perhaps with a team that prioritizes physicality over puck-moving flair, might let him showcase the aggressive, committed defenseman who won over Habs fans. At 25, his prime is still ahead, and a new market could be the stage for a comeback. Let's talk roster and cap dynamics. Xhekaj's contract carries a cap-friendly hit of under $1.5 million through next season, so moving him isn't about salary relief. It's about fit and opportunity. With roughly $10 million in projected cap space for next year, we got flexibility to make moves. But every roster spot matters as we balance contention with depth. Keeping Xhekaj as organizational insurance isn't a bad idea. Injuries happen, and having his physical profile on hand for grind an 82-game season plus playoffs is valuable. But if a trade offer brings back a piece that better suits our system, say a depth forward or a draft pick to restock the pipeline, Hughes might not hesitate. Now, let's zoom out to the bigger picture. Nothing is set in stone. The NHL trade market is unpredictable. The Canadiens could opt to retain Xhekaj as a depth piece, especially as St. Louis believe his toughness still protects our young stars like Cole Caulfield and Uri Slavkovsky during long, unpredictable campaigns. But the signs are hard to ignore. Scratch for Game 7. A growing list of defensemen ahead of him on the depth chart. A system shifting toward technical skill over raw physicality. Everything points to a crossroads, and the path leading to another NHL franchise seems more likely by the day for Xhekaj. Habs fans will remember him fondly. He embodied an attitude and mentality that Montreal has always cherished. A blue-collar work ethic, a refusal to be pushed around, and a style of hockey that echoed the tough teams of yesteryear. But the game moves forward, rosters evolve, and the Canadiens of 2026 aren't the same squad that needed Xhekaj to forge its identity. Our identity now is clear: talent, speed, and depth, driven by names like Suzuki, Hudson, and Dobson. In this new era, Xhekaj's future with the Habs remains uncertain, and a departure feels like the natural next step. So, let's throw a tough question into the mix to spark some heat in the comments. Should Kent Hughes actively shop Xhekaj this summer to capitalize on his trade value and address other roster needs, or keep him as depth for physical protection and injury insurance? What's your call? Trade for value or hold for grit? I want to hear your takes. Let's get the debate roaring louder than the Bell Center crowd. As we push deeper into the playoffs and shape the future of this franchise, the potential exit of Arber Xhekaj marks another turning point. We're grateful for the snarl he brought, but the path ahead belongs to a new breed of Canadiens. If you're as fired up as I am about the direction of this team, smash that like button to show your Habs pride. Subscribe if you haven't yet, because we're riding this journey together. Every tough call, every playoff battle, every step toward the cup. Let's keep the passion for the blue, blanc, ET Rouge burning bright. Until the next update, keep the faith. We're building something unstoppable.